Hello, I'm Richard Vobes, the Bald Explorer, out on another investigation. Today I'm looking at the wonders of garlic, and there's a lump of garlic. I'm joined here by Kym Murden. Hello, Kym.
Hello, Richard.
I say joined, I mean I've come to see you.
Yes, you have.
You may remember that we've done a couple of videos now, or three I think, with you. One about your herbalist stuff, one about your storytelling, and you told us a story. And taking the advantage, really, to find out about one particular herb. Mm-hmm. And that's something everybody knows, garlic. But there's more to garlic than just shoving it in your crock pot, I suppose.
There certainly is. And I thought I would chose garlic because, as you say, it's a good kitchen herb.
Right.
And I thought I'd do a little bit about the history.
Oh, brilliant.
First,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So if you remember when we spoke last time about herbs, I said, go right back to the human history, plants are there. So we know from the first written records that the Sumerian tablets, that garlic is mentioned there, and every single text that mentions herbal medicine, garlic is written about.
Wow.
So we know that humans have always used it. In terms of where it comes from, we're not quite sure. We think it comes from Southeast Asia, but it's around the whole globe now.
Yes,
as a plant we know.
And I presume it's a fairly easy plant to grow.
Oh, very easy plant to grow in our own culture. And we know from the Romans we don't know if the Romans brought it here, but we know the Romans ate it.
Right.
And then you come to the Anglo-Saxon era, and it's written about in terms, it's called garlic, I don't know how to pronounce Saxon, to distinguish it from leeks. And if we go for a local place, Glynde Place, a village just outside Lewes.
Oh, yes.
The owners then were the Whaley family, and they were renting the property out, and the renters and their what's the word? The people who come after them, anyway, they had to pay £7.08 in money per year, provide 12 barbed arrows, and 1,500 heads of garlic per year.
Good gracious.
So we know that it was well used.
Yes.
So,
wow.
So then we jump to say where it's written about in Chaucer. He talks about it as a thoracic. Now, thoracic is I think that's how you pronounce it, is a Greek word meaning sort of root medicines against poisons. Okay, so barrels of very expensive thoracic medicine used to come into London. It would be exotic herbs, as well as things like snake oil. So very, very expensive.
Snake oil.
Yeah. And then you get garlic referred to as a poor man's treacle. Now, why am I telling you this? Because the word thoracic morphed into treacle.
Okay.
So garlic became poor man's treacle, so poor man's medicine.
Right.
Which actually I think they probably did better than the snake oil.
Yes.
Actually.
Yes. And I always wondered when you hear snake oil, where you get oil from a snake. I mean,
we could digress. There was a woman who, on the other side of Chiltington, who used to give snake oil for earache. So, and that was in the 1900s.
Wow.
Actually. Yes. Anyway, I digress.
So do you think that people have always known that garlic is not just something which I guess improves the flavour of food, but has been a medicinal thing, something that has helped?
I think very much so, and it's one of those things in our family we say science catches up with reality. So if we look at how people would have eaten garlic and onions in their pottage and stews, but when we look at the early writings, the English early writings, it's all bang on, the things that we would understand, like for digestive stuff, for worms, for the scab of head, for coughs and bronchitic things. And so those uses have just gone on through. And if we jump to, say, the First World War, yes, it was very useful in the field hospitals. Okay, the garlic would be crushed and put in moss and used to treat wounds. So here we're getting an indication of where the modern science catches up. We understand its antibiotic properties. It's like nature's super antibiotic. It tackles streptococcal and staphylococcal infections, for example. So in the First World War, people were sent out to go and collect garlic. I think they were given a shilling for a pound of garlic. So that was about 20 heads make about a pound of garlic.
Wow.
So used in those field hospitals. And then of course then penicillin did come along, but again in the Second World War you can jump to, say, Russia, where they actually ran out of the penicillin, and garlic, they went back to using garlic, and it was called Russian penicillin. So really pivotal herb for that. So in terms of like how can we use it at
Yeah.
home, I tell people, well, we do use it in our cooking.
Yes.
So we use it raw, don't we, in salad dressings or making hummus or something like that, and that's going to give us the most anti-infective qualities and help our immune system and help with colds. And then we put it in our cooking for flavour, and that's going to help our cardiovascular system. So
right.
it'll help things like high blood pressure. And
so when it's cooked, it changes how it helps.
The quality change. And the other thing to say, yes, is what is going on. We know that once you crush garlic, it actually releases the major active constituent, which is alicillin. So that's why we do want to crush it and put it in.
Just eating it raw. I mean, I suppose you're crushing it with your teeth.
Well, you're crushing it with your teeth. Your teeth, yes. So okay, so it's an anti-infective, but it also helps clear the lungs. And often people do look at me strangely in my practice, but this is a really good one to try at home. Honest.
Yeah.
For infants or old people, is you actually rub it, you crush it, and then you rub it at bedtime on the soles of people's feet. So on babies, because if you think babies they won't want to eat garlic, it's too strong. And in the morning, you'll smell the garlic on the breath, because the little bit of it's got absorbed through the skin into the blood supply. And why is the smell important? We know it's important because it's actually starting to disinfect the lungs and also break down mucus.
Oh, wow. I see. Now, because I've had a cold recently, and it's pretty much all gone now. And I haven't had any garlic in that whole period. And it just went on and on and on. And you said, put some garlic in a sandwich.
And you didn't do it, did you?
And at that point, I thought, well, my cold is pretty much gone now. I don't need to. But by golly, I'm going to be... Yeah. I have been cooking more recently with garlic in stews, because it's winter as we record this. And so the old stews and the crock pot comes out, and it's so easy to cook, and it's just so easy to bung in. But I'm fascinated by so it's not just babies that can rub it on their feet. Anybody. It doesn't have. Does it have to be the feet, or could be anywhere?
It could be anywhere, but it's just the most. You've got a nice thick sole there. It's not going to irritate the skin. Should you have a sensitive skin.
So even the sole of the feet can absorb.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Well, what we need to know is that up to 60% of whatever we put on our skin can get absorbed into the rest of our body.
That's a slightly worrying thing to think about when you think how many chemicals that we put our hands in, like washing up liquid and things like that.
Yes, well, people who've got eczema, I think they're kind of quite diligent about it. They know, don't they? Yes. But the rest of us who maybe don't have skin problems probably should maybe pay attention as to, whether it's shampoos, body washes, and all that kind of thing. It will have an impact on our whole functioning. So
gosh, that's fascinating, isn't it? And of course, it's so cheap.
And so you can easily buy it and use it as your kitchen medicine chest, or if you got a bit of garden, you can put it in now. And some people do put it in between November and December, because it's one of these plants, like all the it's part of the onion family, of course. It's governed also by how many phases of the moon. I think that's how many times those phases of the moon is how many skins that they grow. So,
Wow.
So it's a wonder herb.
It's a wonder herb. And so, I mean, onions. I always think of onions as being good. Yeah. But this is even better. Even better.
I mean, all the garlic family, or the onion family. So onions, leeks, even your wild garlic. They all have a gradation of effect, but this is the most potent.
Right. So, and the fresher, does that make it any different? Or because I often go into the cupboard and go, oh, I've got garlic, and then I open up and it's probably been there for donkey's years, and it's just a little bit dead, crumbled. It won't be as potent, but or if it's got the green shoots, so there are different botanical processes going on there. So when it's it's in that resting stage, yes, it's going to be fine. But as you say, it's so cheap. I went to the had a tooth problem, and they put me on some antibiotics, and it was £9 for these 7 days worth of pills, £9. When really, if I'd been chewing on the garlic,
it could have been a lot cheaper.
A lot cheaper. So it's worth thinking about.
Yeah.
Oh, that is amazing. So on a final note, then, what? On a daily basis, just eat garlic just for purely health.
Yeah, just put it in your cooking, put it on your salad dressings, and so it's just there doing its part of your normal.
So unlike antibiotics, where they say now that we're getting to a point where actually we're
getting resistant.
Yeah, with the bacteria or whatever it is, the infections become resistant to it. Is that with garlic, do you think, or
no? It won't. And the other thing that it does, it actually helps the gut repopulate with the good gut flora.
Yes.
So it's got a dual action there.
And that's a whole new science as well. Or I say new science. I mean, it's not new, but we're now talking about it.
Yes, we're being more diligent about understanding how important
the gut works.
It is. Yeah.
So there we go. Yeah. Cook with garlic, eat garlic, and gargle with garlic.
Yeah, know your garlic, not your onions. Know your garlic.
Know your garlic, especially this winter, or any time of year. But winter's a time when people get colds and your immune system can get down, and so it's principally an immune
booster. It's warming, and it will break down mucus and all those chesty coughs and things.
So well, thank you, Kym. That's really interesting. I'm trying to persuade Kym to set up her own YouTube channel so that she can tell us more about the exciting world of herbs going forward, which is a phrase I always tell myself I'm never going to use. Going forward, it's such a horrible corporate load of old rubbish. But in the future, and so I hope you do, because I think the things around us and the natural plants and things, they have so much to offer, and we often forget that in this fast-paced world that we're in.
And it's a great fun way, it is fun to take care of your own health.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds a bit strange way of putting it, doesn't it? But you feel really inspired.
Well, do you know, I mean, I know we're sort of running out of time, but I remember a woman who sat every morning and spent half an hour with about 12 different pills that she had to take. And she did turn around and say, I hate all this, I've got to take all these pills. My sister, who is a nurse, said, what happens if you don't take these pills? And she said, well, I'll die. They said, well, there you go then. It's like, that's not really a thing. But she was so bored. But, peeling an onion and looking after your health and using natural things is going to be a lot more meaningful than popping pills that you've no idea what it contains.
Yes, and I think it's really important that people do reclaim their kind of household kitchen medicines. So,
yes, absolutely. Yeah. So there we are. Anyway, I'll bung your details on where people can find out more about you, Kym, on the description, of course. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Know your garlic, and I will see you on another investigation. Don't forget to follow, like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. If you have any experience with garlic or want to add to that or got an anecdote to do with it, do write it in the comments. Love to read all that sort of stuff. It's absolutely fascinating. But until next time, thanks so much.
Thank you, Richard.
See you again. Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.